Welcome to the Sports Lounge, the Fred Dreyer Show. I'm Jeremy Dayton, sitting in for Mike Horn, along with Corey Marino and the Sultan of Safeties, the iconic acting legend, Fred Dreyer, coming to you live from the CRN Talk Studios. We're live on Facebook, and we're going to get right into it. Fred, how are you doing today?
Well, I'm doing pretty well. The sun is out. It's beautiful. It's not too hot, not too cold. I have no complaints in life.
Well, that is good news. This is a big week. Lots of things going on. Are any of you guys sad that the All-Star game is over? Did you guys catch that?
You know, I was sad when I realized that they didn't hit the deciding home run test in the second inning instead of the ninth inning.
So that's a big talking point right now. They implemented the new ball strike challenge system, and they had a home run derby hit off when it was tied after 9.
Yeah, 6-6 tie.
So what do you guys think about that? I mean, it was kind of epic. I didn't watch it. I saw the highlights.
Well, it's a great way to say, you know, something. Either the game's going predictably, it's boring, it's tiring, we don't want to see it anymore, it's too long, or whatever you have. It's always great for someone to say, hey, let's have a home run contest and get out of here and go home.
You know that where they really dropped the ball, and this is something you pointed out, Corey, the irony is that they have two of the iconic names in baseball, and Shohei Ohtani of the Dodgers and Aaron Judge of the Yankees. That would have been an iconic, showdown.
Yeah.
But they were both gone.
Yeah,
so it kind of shows you.
Beat the traffic.
So if the players don't care too much to stay there for the end of the All-Star game, I don't know why they should expect the fans to. But we got a lot of other things to talk about. They did have a moment with Clayton Kershaw, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, he went in the second inning, pitched to 2 batters, and they had him mic'd up, and he was talking to the John Smoltz, calling his pitches, and then Dave Roberts came and got him for the last time. It'll probably be his last All-Star game, and he pitched to 2 guys, and he was calling out his pitches, and he struck one out, and then threw one right down the middle that should have been hit a home run, but it ended up not being swung at. It was pretty fun.
That is good stuff. Guys, you're listening to the Fred Dreyer Show on CRNTalk.com. We are live on Facebook, 790 KABC, Saturdays at 6 p.m., Sirius Channel 217 and XM Channel 203. Stick around. We got a lot more to talk about. Be right back.
Looking for a pharmacy that truly understands your health needs? At Westcliff Compounding Pharmacy, we specialize in custom compounded medications for patients of all ages, including pets. From pain management and sports medicine to natural hormone replacement and dermatology, our expert pharmacists create tailored solutions with precision and care. Trusted by major professional sports leagues and the U.S. Olympic Committee, we deliver top-tier medications you can count on. We are your source for ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, and other treatments for COVID and parasite cleanses. Serving patients and physicians across California, we offer mail order service for your convenience. Visit us at 1901 West Cliff Drive, Suite 3 in Newport Beach, or call 949-272-0775, or go to westcliffcompounding.com. Westcliff Compounding Pharmacy. Custom care, trusted solutions.
Are you ready to make a difference for the environment while helping the visually impaired at the same time? Then donate your vehicle to Heritage for the Blind today by calling 800-785-9618. Every donated vehicle will either be properly recycled in an eco-friendly manner or given a new life through reuse. Donating your vehicle is easy. Simply call 1-800-785-9618 and Heritage for the Blind will do the rest. They'll even arrange for your vehicle to be picked up at no cost to you. And for a limited time, when you donate your car, you'll receive a $200 restaurant voucher and a 2-night, 3-day hotel stay at one of 50 locations. Call 800-785-9618 right now to schedule your tax-deductible vehicle donation and make a positive impact on the environment while helping others. Heritage for the Blind, where every car donation counts and every person makes a difference. Call 1-800-785-9618 now.
You order a glass of your favorite Cabernet, fresh asparagus, hollandaise on the side, a filet, medium rare. You unfurl your napkin with a flair, close your eyes, and prepare to listen. Ah, there it is. The sweet music you long to hear. The sizzle. The sizzle of a Ruth's Chris steak.
The most magnificent corn-fed prime beef, broiled to perfection at 1,800 degrees. Some call it a sizzle. We call it an anthem.
As the waiter approaches, you think, is this one mine or that one?
Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. Like Ruth always said, life's too short to eat anywhere else.
Make a reservation online at ruthschris.com or by calling 800-544-0808.
All right, welcome back to the Fred Dryer Show. I'm Jeremy Dayton, sitting in for Mike Horn alongside Corey Marino and Fred Dryer, the man himself. I think we probably talked up enough about the All-Star game. We do have other baseball news to get into. One interesting thing I did see was the two teams that decided to pay All-Star bonuses to players who got snubbed from the All-Star game, even though their stats would have suggested that they probably should have made it. One was Nathan Eovaldi for the Texas Rangers, and then the other was Christopher Sanchez of the Philadelphia Phillies. Neither of them were named to the All-Star team, but they did still get paid out by their respective owners an All-Star bonus.
What was the explanation on that?
Well, it's a popularity contest with the players being largely voted in by the fans and then only having so many spaces. So I guess team ownership just wanted to show appreciation and value what their players were doing for them this season. So they wanted to honor that contract clause, which is kind of a bummer when they, by no fault of their own, are left out of the All-Star game.
Well, I've always said it. It's the ownership started the league. It's their rules and regulations. They can do whatever they want, and they do.
I mean, what do you think that says to it? Like that really, you would think that would endear, players to ownership to see that kind of, it's a good look. There's a lot of greed that goes on in sports. So to see an ownership willing to pay out a clause that they didn't have to, it's something to be said for ownership, right?
Again, they can do what they want. It doesn't influence me one way or another.
It also could come from not a sense of greed, but Christopher Sanchez got $50,000 and Nathan Eovaldi got $100,000. That's drops in the buckets to them.
Right.
So they could just look good, and we're giving them the time of day right now. And the next time they go to sign, they sign because these are great. These are good starting pitchers, and next time they go to and they have that clause in there, kind of like, look, we're very good ownership to our players, and we like you guys. But I like it as well because it is people who have the most votes, and it's usually the bigger market teams, and so you can get left out when you're not the Dodgers or the Yankees or the Mets or anybody else like the Cubs. They get a lot more fans voting. So this is a way to show them look good on both ends and help your players just get a little extra cash.
Well, it also adds as a leverage for whoever wants to use it that way.
Right.
I remember in my years in the league, they had a situation where if you got the most sacks on a team, then you got a bonus, and that was it wasn't anything more than that, and it gets blown out of proportion, and one thing leads to another, and you wind up standing in front of a press crew and trying to explain yourself that you're taking a bribe of some sort, and but it's again, it's all part of the dance of pro sports.
Yeah, it is so much publicity, and like you said, Corey, it's very inexpensive, good publicity when it comes to fostering the image that players and other teams may want to come visit you. I feel like the Ravens have a pretty good image when it comes to that. But sticking on the baseball front, there's some There's some news coming out about a player that may not want to be welcomed back into a clubhouse, and that's former Dodgers pitcher Julio Urias. And he wants to start playing MLB again after just being reinstated from his domestic violence suspension. He's going to be officially reinstated by MLB on Thursday after he served out his suspension, which was, I believe it was 19. Well, his first one was 20 games. And now this one was the entire season last year.
Yeah, the entire 2024 season.
Yeah, he's 28 years old. He wants to get back in. He's got Scott Boras as an agent, so I'm sure
He's got the right guy.
Right.
Definitely does.
What are your thoughts on this? It's such a publicity nightmare for teams. I mean, we've seen it in football with Deshaun Watson and then sadly Justin Tucker. But we saw the other side of the coin. We were talking about Trevor Bauer, who was wrongfully accused. Now he's playing in Japan with an inflated ERA. He's apparently not wanted back in the MLB, even though he was kind of proven innocent recently. So do you think that is any kind of, I don't know, will that help Julio Urias' case to get back in the league? Will they look into it further? Do you think guys with this type of, he's been suspended twice for it. Should he be in the league?
Well, again, that's
loaded.
That's up to the owners association and the players association. I'm sure players, it's kind of not really a hot topic for the NFLPA Players Association to have a player that has such a 2 strikes against him like this. The one thing the league won't tolerate, and they'll cut somebody's rising.
His numbers were good.
Well, yeah, his pitching is outstanding. His character isn't. Is that the way it is? Are we going to let him back in? Or do we just say, well, you had your shot, goodbye? And then he can always say, like, Boras is going to fight for him. Boras is going to take it probably to the public,
Yeah.
And it'll be interesting to see how this thing unfolds. They got to pick their time wisely in order to make a stand for him. The league just will not tolerate domestic violence of any kind.
Do you think there's any, because it's like with Trevor Bauer, he was kind of cast aside and playing in Japan, even though he's not proven innocent, well, at least in the eyes of many. But in football, they seem to be more forgiving. Is it because it's a gridiron sport? It's like a warrior mentality. Maybe they're more forgiving of that. I mean, I know they even brought back Kareem Hunt. He was left for dead by the Chiefs, and now he's back with them. Even though I believe there was some pretty incriminating evidence of him like striking a female, and now he's back in the good graces of the league, and nobody talks about it anymore.
What about the running back from the Baltimore Ravens?
Well, Ray Rice, but he hasn't been welcomed back.
No, I know.
Yeah.
As far as that goes, he's going to make an attempt to come back and have a career after all these years, but he knocked his girlfriend out in an elevator, and
oh, it's bad. You bring up a good point, and I'll get to you, Corey. I do want to say this though, because that's a great point, and it's something to illustrate because there's no accountability, and they let all these guys back in the league. Ray Rice, he wanted to get back in. He's not Colin Kaepernick. He's not trying to come back anymore, but he has turned his life around, and he's actually he goes around counseling youth, and he's allowed this. He's married to that same fiance now, and they've got a happy family, and he realizes that was part of God's plan for him, to humble him, to bring him down, to make him be a better man. But the players that get away with it and are allowed to stay in the league, it just appeases that behavior, and they never change.
Did he marry that girl?
Yeah.
Did he really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, they were engaged at the time.
I don't know what. I don't know.
I hope they're still married. They were last I heard.
I don't know how long or how important that is. The fact is that he beat his girlfriend up or he beat his wife up in an elevator. I mean, pick your spot. But most of the time, the guys that do this are on their way out, and I think this Urias problem, this Julio Urias, will he be instated by Major League Baseball on Thursday after serving domestic violence suspensions? It remains to be seen. Should he? I don't know. I mean, my heart hasn't been bleeding for the guy to get back.
Well, if he does, maybe it'll be in a very small stadium, something the Tampa Bay Rays can relate to. Stick around. You're listening to the Fred Dryer Show on CRNTalk.com. We'll be right back.
Savor the past and savor the glory days of Las Vegas. Enjoy 70 years of true Las Vegas history as 4 generations of family wait to greet you at the legendary Bootlegger Italian Bistro. Wine, dine, and experience Mama Maria's award-winning original recipes while surrounded by original family photos and celebrity memorabilia. Enjoy piano artistry nightly with music from the Great American Songbook in our main formal dining room. The Bootlegger Italian Bistro, 7700 Las Vegas Boulevard South, in the entertainment capital of the world. The Bootlegger Italian Bistro, open 7 days a week. 7700 Las Vegas Boulevard South, in the entertainment capital of the world. It's Vegas, baby.
Are you nearly maxed out on your credit cards? It doesn't matter if you're using your credit cards for fun or to survive. At the end of the month, your statements come in, and you can either pay them or you can't. If you can't, late fees and interest rates get tacked on. And now you're struggling just to make the minimum payment due. Do you feel trapped? Am I talking to you? Good, because I personally researched some companies that can help you. They may be able to reduce your credit card balances by 50% and stop the late fees. If you qualify, please call our special debt hotline number right now for a complimentary free 5-minute consultation. Deal with your credit card problem now before it gets much worse and put more money back in your pocket. Trust me, I've been there too. Call right now.
800-475-7125. 800-475-7125. That's 800-475-7125.
You experiencing pain, back pain, shoulder, elbow, or hand pain, pain from a sports injury? If so, schedule a visit with Dr. Michael Sheps, the leading expert in laser therapy for pain management. Call 310-873-4422 or go to drsheps.com. Experience Epic T, the breakthrough laser therapy system that Dr. Sheps developed to make you pain-free in less time. Laser therapy is a non-invasive, safe, and effective in-office procedure that penetrates deep into your skin without damaging the tissue. It perfectly targets areas of pain to promote fast, natural healing. Relax your muscles, ease muscle spasms, joint stiffness, and arthritis pain while increasing blood circulation. For over 25 years, Dr. Sheps has helped Olympic athletes and sports enthusiasts alike get back in the game. Schedule your visit with Dr. Sheps at his Brentwood office in California. Call 310-873-4422 or visit drsheps.com. That's DRSHEPS.com. 310-873-4422.
All right, welcome back to the Fred Dryer Show. Jeremy Dayton sitting in for Mike Horn with Corey Marino and Fred Dryer. On CRNTalk.com, you can find us on Sirius Channel 217, XM Channel 203, XM Sirius app, Channel 967, and of course every Saturday at 6 p.m. Pacific on 790 KABC. Saturdays at 3 p.m. Eastern on XM Channel 203. Oh, we were talking about Julio Urias trying to get back in the league in baseball. People talk about the Dodgers all the time, so they're well known. Tampa Bay Rays, it's a small market team, yet they keep hanging in there every year, to my dismay as an Oriole fan. They're hanging in there right now. They're 50-47 at the time of this recording, but in the thick of the playoff race. And currently, if they were to make the playoffs, if the season ended now, they'd be scheduled to play in a 10,046-seat stadium, which is their spring training stadium at Steinbrenner Field, which is actually the spring training stadium for the New York Yankees. And MLB has approved this now. What can you, I mean, the atmosphere there, what do you think that would do to a player to be playing in front of such a small stadium in a playoff game?
Well, you've been, if you've been in front of 10,000 or 110,000, there's a difference. But is there a difference that makes that much difference if you have just a tight 10,000 fans in the grandstands? And I don't know. I've played in front of a lot of fans, and then not so many. What's kind of worse, I remember years ago we played. I think it was Cleveland or Philadelphia, and Eagles, and we came out. No, excuse me. This is what it was. It was hilarious. The Pittsburgh Steelers in 1969 played at Pitt Stadium. That's where the college team plays. So they played at Pitt Stadium. It had been raining the whole weekend. They said, "No, don't worry about anything, folks. It's going to be it's going to be okay." So we came out for the punting teams, and we walked out, and all of us just sank just up to our ankles.
Oh, wow.
In mud. So we said, "Oh, well, what the hell? What are you going to do? We might as well just jump in and have fun." We came out, and not only was the field miserable, but there was like 10 people in the end zone watching us. It was an eerie sight. You could hear a guy coughing up on a 50-yard line.
It's kind of a fun environment to play as a player, right?
Yeah, it is, and you really get once you get going. If it's a good game, that's one thing. But if it's not a good game and the home team's losing, then you start to hear the cat calls. It's hilarious, and it's one of my highlights as a player years ago. But most of the time, they're gonna make sure those seats have asses in them.
Yeah. Well, that's another thing, and then we'll get to you, Corey, if you got any thoughts. But that's from the player's perspective. But obviously, from the owner's perspective, you've talked always this show. It's their prerogative what they want to do. The fact that they're agreeing to this is surprising because they're sacrificing a lot of dollars to only have 10,000 people in the stands.
Yeah, they are. But that falls under the category of gross incompetence. So that's one of the reasons. That's the early years of the NFL. And sure enough, we beat the Steelers, which brought on conversation up and down the offense and defensive lines, jokes about how bad it was. It was almost like playing on a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
So at least you had something that tastes good.
So we had a lot of fun laughing it up, and in the meantime, you couldn't. By 3 minutes into the game, you could not tell one player from another.
Isn't Lambeau Field pretty? What's the capacity in that? Isn't that one of the smaller stadiums in terms of seating?
Yeah. Well, it was, but they expanded it, I think, a while back, and it's a good stadium now, But that tricks people into thinking, okay, we're gonna have a new stadium next year. We're gonna have a new field. We're gonna have AstroTurf. And we're never going to have this embarrassment again of being swamped by the weather and the mud and all of that. We're gonna have good drainage. It was still two crappy teams playing. Now they're playing on a flooded, a surface of this sort. And I'd rather play in the mud.
Right.
Surprisingly, Lambeau's actually the second largest with 81,441.
Oh, I guess that would be after the renovation. I guess they're so crammed together they don't actually have seats. It's
they fill that place up for local football games.
Wow. I remember
the Bears have the smallest with 61.
Yeah,
that's the smallest.
Yeah.
Wow. I remember in 10th grade, I was still on JV before I got called up, and we had an undefeated season. We lost one game that season, and it was during a hurricane when there was literally probably 6 inches of water. Greg Kessler, man, where are you at? He dropped the game-winning touchdown, and we ended up losing 6-0. But it was on a touchdown and missed extra point. It was horrible.
That's an embarrassing victory.
Yeah, yeah, for them. But yeah, we lost. And then one of our friends, he got home and he realized that the roof of his apartment had been blown off while we were playing. I couldn't believe they were letting us play. There wasn't any lightning yet, but that was one of the funnest games and most memorable.
But we were hoping that that a storm would come by and lift the team up, over, and out.
Yeah. We need a rim shot. Well, somebody who is helping his high school team in his hometown attempting to is not being rewarded for it. Probably players who have done worse things off the field are being rewarded more than Teddy Bridgewater is, who was recently suspended, if you can be suspended as a volunteer coach, from his high school. It's his alma mater. I believe his son goes there now. Corey, you were following this story. What happened?
So last year he decided to be the head coach at the Miami Northwestern Senior High School, and this year he took to Facebook he asked for donations because he said last year I paid out of my pocket over $100,000 in expenses for training camp and Ubers and meals for kids and students that usually didn't come well fed or well clothed and didn't have like the right equipment on. And then it says he spent over $1,500 on recovery and then the Ubers, and then he paid $300 a week just to get the field painted so it looked like they'd be playing at a nice field. And the Florida High School Athletic Association said coaches are not permitted to provide considerable impermissible benefits. And even though he was a volunteer and wasn't an employee, he's still the head coach. Right. So they're kind of getting around
coaches
rooms.
Can't.
Yeah.
Coaches can't, but I mean, can team sponsors? What are your thoughts on this, Fred? I mean, he's trying to do a good thing. He's coaching for free. He's putting his money in to try to give his players a better chance to win, and then he gets punished for it.
What's that website you can go on and if you want to make a movie or you want to do something?
GoFundMe.
Oh yeah.
GoFundMe.
Yeah.
That's all he's got to do.
Well, he did something similar, right? He went on Facebook and he's trying to raise.
Well, that's
funds,
what he was. That's not like that's how he got like caught or like how people knew about it is because he went on Facebook and then just said what he did last year, and he's like, if anyone wants to help, so I don't have to do $100,000 by myself again.
Oh.
The community, like he's like I'll do it, but like he didn't like. Of course,
you almost wonder.
He's in a good position. He's I understand, a good citizen.
Yeah.
And so. He'll have probably enough money to do what he wants to do this year.
Well, he's getting a lot of support from the community,
right.
Talking about him closing the gap between students and a way to get to practice pregame meals. I didn't think he did anything wrong. He's got a lot of support, but I have to wonder if it was that Facebook message, if maybe some bitter person in the community said, you made millions in NFL. Why are you asking us to help? You should be paying for it. If somebody like that was maybe behind the effort to get him suspended, because there's a lot of bitter people out there that don't like somebody who is perceived as not in this world. But
or from a rival school thinking like, why do their players get that?
Right. Yeah.
When mine don't.
Right. Yeah, it's a good point. You just don't know.
Well, you tell them. You explain it to them and just say, I'm going to do this because the guys need it, and I'm here to help, and I'm fortunate that I can help. And if anybody wants to do that for their respective teams and their sports interests, let me know. Maybe I can help too.
Yeah, he did saying even if I'm not the coach on the field, he'll volunteer and send the money from the bleachers.
Yeah, no, we need more people like that, not less. And when you see something like this happen, it definitely doesn't encourage people to do the right thing with their money.
They want to kill every great idea.
Yes, they do. But we got a ton more great ideas. We got a lot of people following on Facebook. We're going to get to them on the other side of this break. You're listening to the Fred Dreyer Show on CRNTalk.com, FredDryershow.com. You can catch him at The Real Fred Dreyer and at Fred_Dreyer. We'll be right back on CRN Talk.
Hi, everyone. Tom Mustin here for the Legal Help Center. If you've been injured in an accident and think you deserve compensation, listen up, because we have legal professionals standing by right now to answer your questions for free. You'll find out if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth. Call 800-745-9090. That's 800-745-9090. The call is free, the consultation is free, and you can speak with a live agent right now. So, if you or someone you know were injured in an accident, like a car accident or slip and fall, call now to find out if you have a case and how much money you could potentially get. 800-745-9090. That's 800-745-9090. Advertisement sponsored by Legal Help Center. May not be available in all states.
Step into the world of Harmony Cheese, where Wisconsin's finest dairy traditions come to life. Our master cheesemakers have perfected the art of crafting exquisite cheeses using only the freshest, highest quality milk. Indulge in our signature Golden Age cheeses, a collection of handcrafted masterpieces that will tantalize your taste buds. Savor the tangy sweetness of cranberry and orange opera jelly, the rich buttery smoothness of our aged Gloucester, or the bold, complex flavor of our Merlot cheddar. Harmony Cheese is more than just cheese. It's an experience. Every bite is a journey through the heart of Wisconsin, where passion and craftsmanship meet to create culinary delights. Visit our cheese shop in Athens or shop online at harmonycheese.com and discover a world of flavor that will leave you craving more. Visit our website at harmonycheese.com. The Kahanapali Beach Resort on Maui is open, and we are welcoming guests. All properties are taking reservations now. Come visit. Go to kahanapaliresort.com. Experience Kahanapali Beach Resort on the tropical west side of Maui, just a short drive from the airport. All highways are open, a collection of relaxing resort properties, our award-winning beach, delectable dining, world-class restaurants, and activities for everyone. Snorkeling, surfing, sailboating, water sports of all kinds, beach and ocean dining, stargazing, beautiful sunsets every night, golf, sun, fun, food, wine, and all in paradise. Visit Kahanapali Beach Resort on Maui. Relax. Reservations are now available. Start with a visit to kahanapaliresort.com. That's KAANAPALI resort.com. The Kahanapali Beach Resort is waiting for you.
Show. I'm Jeremy Dayton, sitting in for Mike Horn along with Corey Marino, Fred Dreyer. We got a lot of people listening live on Facebook. We've got Elisa from Italy, finally taking a 1 a.m. pleasant fresh air walk, I'm assuming. Got at the house, listening to the show. I'm glad you can breathe, Elisa. We got Martine. Hi, Fred, Corey, and Jeremy. Greetings from Cape Canaveral. Got Rachel Joan, Gay Shelley. Hello, Jeremy Dayton, Corey Marino, and of course Fred Dreyer. How you guys doing?
We're doing great with the listeners like you. Keep coming.
Sounds like Joey Tribbiani. Hello, everyone. Hope you are all well. That's Chris Cortez. We got Nikki from Nebraska checking in. we got Jenny Wilcox Chase. She got a question for you, Fred.
Good.
She says, hey, Fred, what do you think of Kurt Warner coming in as a coach for the Rams? That's a interesting thought.
He's going to be coaching quarterbacks, I take it.
She just says coach, any coach. You got to start somewhere.
Well, today they they try to maximize the passing game, and sometimes you can get a coach or a player like Warner who's prolific as a player over his course of his career. And they can give insight to receivers and running backs, and coaches too. But they bring these players, these ex-players like Warner, who was a terrific citizen, and also a great quarterback, very very cool, very calm, and he brings with it I guess the spine of a real competent player, and I think that's a good move. I mean, not that I say it, but I'm sure that there's a reason a specific reason that they're bringing him on board. He does a very good job. I've seen him comment on games.
Yeah, if he were to become a coach, that would certainly be great. I believe he's still with the NFL Network, right?
I think so.
Yeah,
I don't know.
But yeah, we need more guys like him, like a Clayton Kershaw, very humble, godly, God-fearing, just somebody who stands for the right things and is not going to get caught.
Right.
Well, who knows? Who knows? Everybody can have their limits. I don't want to jinx them. But, we're on the subject of coaches, and there was a interesting story that we both came across. Bill Belichick refuting Patriot owners Robert Kraft's assertion that it was a big risk to hire him as a coach, because I believe they actually traded a first-round pick to be able to hire him. So there is a little bit of legitimacy giving up a first-round pick, but still, because he had modest success at the time with the Browns.
Yeah.
But Bill Belichick fired back, maybe not knowing the full context, saying, I was the one that took the risk. All my friends, probably talking about Bill Parcells, told me not to take it, that they were a flailing franchise, way over budget. What do you think when you see something like this, Fred, as far as former owner, coach combo that had such success, historic success? At least it's being perceived as like this rift and this tension. Apparently, Belichick wrote a book and didn't include Kraft in it, so there is some tension.
All the egos start to fly, and Belichick stands on his merit. It's all a negotiation. Anything that a man is called in to talk to the owner of a football team, and he sits there and says, what do you think about my team? What do you think about the weaknesses and the pros and the cons of what we want to do? And certainly all of that is it falls under the column of here's what I'll do for your team. I'll win, and here's how I'm going to do it. And most of the time, you're talking with coaches and owners who aren't that keen on knowing how to talk to a football coach like Bill Belichick. Right. And along that line, Kraft was known as a guy who could give the reins to a coach and feel confident that in doing so that it would be the right thing to do under all circumstances. But he's big. It says here it was a big risk factor to hire the coach. It's not only a risk factor. It can be a disaster. Or it can be a godsend, and like it was in this case. And I'm never surprised by what a coach thinks and what he does with his head coach, because it's all a moving pattern. 1 week, 1 month, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years down the road. You never can tell what's going to happen to your team, but you have to have a coach that is pliable, can remedy the problems at hand without choking in front of the team.
Yeah, Belichick did. He said multiple sources warned him about dysfunction in the Patriots organization. He demanded changes before accepting the job, but then they did go on to have historical success. So I want to ask both of you guys, if you have an answer, who would you think has the greater risk in a situation like that? I would assume I would probably have to side with Kraft on this one because it's his money he's putting up. It's his team. Belichick, he hadn't won anything yet. So I don't know. Is that even worthy of the conversation? It just seems like a battle of egos right now.
Well, it is, and it will continue to be until someone puts a stop to it. And Belichick's just the guy to do it.
After his 4-13 season in 2023, and is he still with the Tar Heels, or does his girlfriend get him fired? Is he still there?
He's still there for the moment.
That's going to play out, you know.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
It'll be very. Yeah, well, I think it also. I think you're right. I think Kraft might have taken the bigger leap there, just because he had to trade But also, when you're thinking about it nowadays, you have these organizations like I can't remember his name, but the Panthers owner right now. That just dysfunction has been for a long time. And if you go there, you might not get another chance. And maybe that's what Belichick's talking about. He's like, I was already a head coach. I was already on the Browns, so I could have probably tried and just build something there. And I went to remake this institution, the Patriots, into what he thought it could be. And if it didn't work out, he might have been out of the league, and we wouldn't have Bill Belichick and Tom Brady like we did.
Right.
But things worked out the way they did. But everybody's taking risk when you're ahead of the football team.
That's the key word. Yeah. You're at risk. This is a high risk game, and it's a high return game. Bill Belichick refutes Patriots owner Robert Kraft's assertion that it was a big risk to hire the coach. No kidding.
Yeah.
That's a
let me ask you something, though, because this has been something that's always kind of boggled my mind, especially when it's like you were talking like 2 first-round picks, but when teams actually trade players or draft capital for coaches. You know, I think it's Sean Payton.
Yeah,
he got
Sean
like
Payton was
two first-round picks.
First and a second.
First and second.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's a huge investment. I would think that's a huge risk every time. Like, do you think coaches can really make that much difference that people are willing to give that up?
Well, they do.
Yeah.
I mean,
did Denver trade picks for Peyton?
Yeah, they traded a first and a second.
Yeah.
We couldn't remember if it was the Saints that had done it initially, but the draft.
Denver did it. Denver did it as well. They just now have their first, or the 2 firsts and a second or something like that. Yeah.
How are they competitive after that Russell?
Last year
trade
was just a miracle year, and now they just need to build on it. So we'll see how that goes, though.
Well, you know, there's these bullet points here on our notes. Warnings and conditions. Belichick said multiple sources warned him about the dysfunction in the Patriots organization and that he demanded changes before accepting the job.
Right.
That's the key negotiation. Belichick, at this time, was the head coach of Cleveland.
Yeah.
You know, he's paid his dues. He knows what he wants as a head coach. He doesn't know if the guy he's dealing with, i.e. the owner of the team, is got his wits about him. It's a negotiation, and it's gonna be oftentimes a confrontation. And once you get the job, and you start winning, man, oh man, you better have, when you walk down the hall to see your head coach, you better have, your wool together, you know.
Right.
The crazy thing, this exact situation just happened again this year. Ben Johnson left the Lions and said when he went to the Bears that he had conditions and they had to admit fault for the past couple of years of decision making. He had the owners and executives admit fault before he's like, you guys did all these things wrong, and I want you to admit that so we can move on with my conditions and stuff. And that's why he was waiting for team control like that. So maybe he took a page out of Bill Belichick's book.
Wow. That's pretty ballsy. But
come up here and stand and look us in the eye and confess.
Maybe DeAndre Swift won't be a bad fantasy running back this year after all. We'll see. I got a question too, because we got another story about C.J. Gardner-Johnson. He just won a Super Bowl with the Eagles, and then they traded him. And he has a theory about that. And I get in the conversations often with my friends about the Ravens. And a lot of people always talk about you need an alpha dog in the locker room. You need somebody that, isn't going to take any smack. They used to love the former cornerback who we let go. Then he went to the Raiders, but Marcus Peters. And he would clash with coaches all the time, and he did have a fire. He was very emotional. He could uplift you with a big play, but then he can get a crucial penalty because he can't control his emotions. And when I hear somebody like C.J. Gardner-Johnson talking about they traded him because they were scared of a competitor, because during practice, he talked about in practice during the playoffs, he was going full throttle, even though it was up against his teammate, and then a little scuffle broke out, and he said, coaches didn't like that. I was too dog for them, so that's why they got rid of me. What do you think of that mentality? And from the fans and the players' perspective, obviously you're a player.
Well, the coaches run the show, and they got to get with him, and they have a team meeting and just say, listen, we love your zest for playing, but you got to back off and let us talk to the team. And you do that by running great practices, and you do it by answering questions and doing the things necessary to form leadership. You don't want your coaches to be the leader of your team. You want the leadership to come from the doing of the players.
Have you played with guys like that who maybe got too out of line emotionally? Like, do you think it's good to have a player who is just all fire that can drum up emotion maybe when you need it, or can it just take you the other way and go sideways?
Well, both are true. It's just that you hope that we had a guy in New York that was great. He's a great guy. We loved him, and all he did was go up and down with his swinging his helmet on the sideline, and everyone gets this, hey, Jim, please sit down. The game has not started yet.
The coaches like him?
Yeah, they liked him. I mean, he was a limited ball player, but he figured this is the only way I get to contribute is by getting behind my guys.
All right, more with Fred Dreyer here on CRN Talk, the Fred Dreyer Show. Be right back.
You hear that? That's the sound of uncertainty lurking under your hood. You know the feeling. I know I do. That sudden sinking sensation when you see a check engine light or your car unexpectedly breaks down and you're faced with sky-high repair bills. It's time to shield against unexpected repairs with CarShield. CarShield is America's most trusted auto protection company and has an A rating with the Better Business Bureau. Don't let the fear of a breakdown keep you up at night. Trust the Shield, CarShield, and say goodbye to terrifying repair bills and hello to peace of mind. Your plan also comes with 24/7 roadside assistance, courtesy towing, rental car options, and so much more. Don't wait till it's too late. Call CarShield now before a breakdown. Protect your wallet. Protect your car with CarShield. Get our best protection ever. Call now. You'll thank me later. 800-824-7094. 800-824-7094. That's 800-824-7094.
Are you ready to make a difference for the environment while helping the visually impaired at the same time? Then donate your vehicle to Heritage for the Blind today by calling 800-785-9618. Every donated vehicle will either be properly recycled in an eco-friendly manner or given a new life through reuse. Donating your vehicle is easy. Simply call 1-800-785-9618 and Heritage for the Blind will do the rest. They'll even arrange for your vehicle to be picked up at no cost to you. And for a limited time, when you donate your car, you'll receive a $200 restaurant voucher and a 2-night, 3-day hotel stay at one of 50 locations. Call 800-785-9618 right now to schedule your tax-deductible vehicle donation and make a positive impact on the environment while helping others. Heritage for the Blind, where every car donation counts and every person makes a difference. Call 1-800-785-9618 now.
These are the sounds of Columbo's Italian Steakhouse.
Look at this ribeye. You see that ribeye?
Fantastic. Incredible.
This is delicious.
Sausage and lentil soup, special today. Very, very good.
Look at this garlic bread. Best garlic bread I ever had.
And here's Vic Perino, owner and operator of Columbo's.
A lot of the Italian recipes are my uncle's own recipes. We have a lot of people coming back for his hand-rolled lasagna. We make it basically from scratch. I think ours is exceptional.
Here's Vic on what makes Columbo's different than any other Italian restaurant.
The other thing that sets us apart from other Italian restaurants is that we're an Italian steakhouse. We specialize in our steaks.
Plus, there's more.
They're coming for a lot of reasons to value. Their value per dollar that they're getting, plus coming into a neighborhood-friendly place. Sometimes we're actually accused of being the melting pot of Eagle Rock.
Columbo's in Eagle Rock on Colorado Boulevard, 323-254-9138. Mangia.
Dreyer Show. I'm Jeremy Dayton, sitting in for Mike Horn along with Corey Marino, Fred Dreyer here on CRNTalk.com. 790 KABC, Saturday nights at 6 p.m. XM Sirius app 967, XM Channel 203, Sirius Channel 217, Saturdays at 3 p.m. Eastern. So don't miss us. And make sure you get your emails into Fred. You can email him at freddryer@crntalk.com. Go to the freddryershow.com if you missed anything. We got all our prior broadcasts on there. We were talking about a lot of things, and C.J. Gardner-Johnson, we had an interesting conversation in the break, calling himself They Can't Handle the Dog, but Corey pointed out he's been with 5 teams. But talking about dogs, what do you guys think when you hear, there's so much animosity within sports, and we won't get too much into WNBA, but this kind of circles on that because apparently Shaquille O'Neal just threatened to punch RG3, Robert Griffin III, over comments he made about Angel Reese supposedly hating Caitlin Clark, and posted a meme about it, and Shaquille is basically threatening to punch him if he sees him, and there's people calling for a boxing match. What's this, Corey?
Yeah, they said that people in Shaq's camp are thinking about having a boxing match between Shaq and RG3, which would not win it. I don't think a boxing match with Shaq would end well for most people.
Probably not. Fred, we just had Lightning Strike, an Olympic bronze medalist, and we had Grace Kim have the most amazing finish in a women's major that I've ever seen. But we're wrapping up the show. We got a minute left. I'm getting married Friday. Do you have any advice?
Yes, take notes. As long as you can get away with it.
As long as I can get away with taking notes. That's not good advice, Fred. Come on, she's probably listening right now. What are you talking about?
Well, no, she's not going to eavesdrop on you, is she?
This is not eavesdropping. This is live. Everybody's listening.
No, it's going to be great. You don't need to take notes. She's a fabulous girl, and you're going to have a lot of fun in life.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Fred, it's always been an honor. Thank you, Corey.
Thank you.
Guys, again, go to freddryershow.com. Thank you. Fred Dreyer at crntalk.com. Get your emails in. And again, you know where to catch us. Fred, any final words? 15 seconds.
Hope Mike Horn is feeling better up and at him. We appreciate his concern, and we will see him hopefully next time.
Amen. We second that. Guys, take care.
If anyone should ask, you're listening to CRN Digital Talk Radio.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm Keith Peters in Washington. Southern states are bracing for bad weather.
A tropical weather system near the Florida Panhandle is showing a moderate chance of becoming a tropical depression. The National Hurricane Center says that the system could impact southeastern Louisiana, Alabama, and Mississippi. New Orleans residents